Now at 11 o'clock, deputies shoot and kill a man in South LA in a confrontation between deputies and a man on his bicycle. Good evening. I'm Chuck Henry.
And I'm Carolyn Johnson. Colleen Williams is off tonight. That shooting happened around 3:15 in the afternoon on 109th Place. And in the hours since then, dozens of witnesses, neighbors and demonstrators have shown up at the scene. Gil Leyvas live overhead for us in News Chopper 4 Bravo. Gil.
Carolyn and Chuck, the crowd has grown to about 200. You're looking at Budlong just north of 109th Place, right around the corner, I should say, from the shooting investigation. You see the Sheriff's Department there with their vehicles. As I come out to a wider shot, you see. Now, earlier when we were over this, when it first happened, there were people from the neighborhood that came out to see what was going on. But since then, the crowd has grown to, like I said, about 200 people right now that are protesting police violence. And it looks like they've come from all over the city, not just the neighborhood here or the community itself, but you can see the Sheriff's Department here with the people that are protesting this shooting very peacefully here. As I come out to a wider shot, I will show you the scene just up on the top of the screen. That is where the shooting occurred earlier today, right around 3 o'clock this afternoon. But again, as I push in here, a peaceful demonstration just around the corner from that shooting scene, about 100 to 200 people protesting police violence. That's the latest in News Chopper 4 Bravo, and I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you very much, Gil Leyvas. Now, this is a story that we have been following since our 4 o'clock newscast shortly after it happened, and we now have cell phone video of a man running right before the trigger was pulled. NBC4's Beverly White has been on the story since it happened.
Protesters linger after dark near 109th and Budlong, where LA Sheriff's deputies killed a man around 3 p.m. Outrage from bystanders who say the man had been on a bicycle.
One thing I do know is that he was killed in cold blood.
Investigators say the man dumped the bike and ran from deputies before he was shot.
Our suspect was holding some items of clothing in his hands, punched one of the officers in the face, and then dropped the items in his hands. The deputies noticed that inside the clothing items that he dropped was a black semi-automatic handgun, at which time a deputy-involved shooting occurred.
We asked the detective why the man on the bike was deemed a suspect in the first place.
They saw our individual, or our suspect, and he was riding his bicycle, and he was in violation of vehicle code violations for riding his bike.
LA Sheriffs confirmed both deputies fired on the bicyclist after he ignored their commands during a traffic stop. The department declined to identify the man or the deputies who shot him. Deputies didn't have body cameras, so colleagues canvassed for security and cell phone video. Clips are popping up on social media. This one shared by activist Najee Ali.
What are you doing, though? He dead already.
Ali plans a news conference tomorrow to call for an independent investigation. LA Sheriffs say a thorough probe is already underway.
So anytime there's a deputy-involved shooting, members of the Office of Inspector General respond, along with our internal affairs, along with members of the District Attorney's Justice System Integrity Division.
Little comfort to a neighborhood weary of killings.
It's just unfortunate. I'm tired of this going on. I done lost several family members in the past just few months to police brutality and police violence.
In Westmont, Beverly White, NBC4 News.